from Crafty Kendra, and today I'm going to show you how to make this card, so let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is bring in a 2" by 2.5" piece of Very Vanilla cardstock and our basic black ink. And we're also going to bring in this flower stamp from the On the Go stamp set, which is in the summer mini right now, sorry. Just going to ink it up and center it onto this piece of Very Vanilla, and then we're going to set it aside to dry. The next thing we're going to do is bring in our card base, and our card base measures 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and it's Daffodil Delight. We're going to bring in our spritzer tool and our Daffodil Delight Stampin' Up marker. What we're going to do is put the tip of our marker in there really far, and we're just going to go ahead and spritz across the front of our card base. Okay. And whenever we have a nice little speckling, we're just going to set our spritzer tool aside. Next thing we're going to do is bring in a 1" by 4 1/4" piece of crumb cake cardstock that I ran through the square lattice impressions folder using my Big Shot, and we're going to attach it to our card base using some mini glue dots. We're just going to attach it so that at the bottom, so that our fold is at the top. There we go. Next thing we're going to do is come in with our crumb cake ink pad, and we're just going to lightly tap it or pull it across that crumb cake piece that we textured. And you could do this beforehand. See? And then it's a little bit more defined. Next thing we're going to do is bring in a 3" by 3.5" piece of Poppy Parade. I'm going to take our corner rounder around one of the corners. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our gel pen, and making sure that the rounded corner is in the top left, we're going to take our white gel pen and do stitching lines along the top and the left side. Okay, then we're going to set that aside. I'm going to bring in a Bashful Blue Modern Label Punch. And what we're going to do is we're just going to fold it in half. Whenever we have it folded in half, we're going to open it back up. And using our snail, we're just going to run snail along the whole inside. I'm going to bring back in that Poppy Parade piece, and then along this left edge, we're just going to put our Modern Label Punch in about 1/2 inch, centering it on that side. So we're just going to fold it in half again, so that way you have a nice little tab on that left side. Then what we're going to do is set it aside and bring back in that stamped image that we did earlier. And the basic black has had enough time to dry. So the first thing we're going to do is bring in our Bashful Blue ink pad, and we're going to pinch our ink onto the lid so that we have a little well of ink right here. We're going to use our blender pen and color in this little jug that our flowers are in. All right. Whenever we have that colored in how we want it, I'm going to go ahead and grab my heat tool real quick to zap it dry so I don't smear it anywhere. Go ahead and bring in our Sahara Sand Stampin' Up marker and just go along the bottom here in that little shadow mark and right underneath the flower, just to kind of give it a little bit of grounding to the page. Next we're going to bring in our Daffodil Delight Stampin' Up marker and actually color in our flowers. Color them all in. Okay, and after we're done, we're going to come in with our Poppy Parade Stampin' Up marker. And what we're going to do is we're just going to highlight the center of these flowers. And if you can't see the center, don't worry about getting it. Okay. Now we're going to bring in our Certainly Celery marker and color in the leaves. Then if you want to go back in on your leaves where there's some real major shadows and just make them a little bit darker, that'll really give this card a little bit more dimension. Okay. After you finish that, you're going to take our corner rounder one more time around its top left corner. I'm going to flip it over and add some snail. Bring back in that Poppy Parade piece. and it's going to get placed towards the bottom right hand corner, leaving about 1/8 of an inch border along the right and bottom side. Then we're going to go ahead and flip the Poppy Parade piece over and add some dimensionals to the back. Remove the backing. It's also going to get placed towards the bottom right hand corner, but we're going to leave not quite 1/2 inch of a gap. So it looks like this. We're going to bring in a 4" by 4" piece of Very Vanilla cardstock and our Poppy Parade ink pad along with a sponge dauber. We're just going to sponge the edges. Real quick. Then we're going to bring in one of the stamps from the On the Go stamp set. And we're going to bring in the Thinking of You stamp. And we're also going to bring in our Crumb Cake ink pad. Ink up our stamp. And then we're just going to stamp it onto our card, flip it over, add some snail, and we're just going to sit it on the inside of our card there. And it's finished. And that is all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching.